Hi there, my crafty friends. It is Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I wanted to bring you the third and final project from my product of the week, which is the Scripty Embossing folder. So if this is your first time catching a video on my channel, specifically a product of the week video, each week I have a featured product, and I am now in my goal plan is to feature 3 different projects that week. So Monday's video, I made this card using Gorgeous Grape. Super cute, right? The new Wonder Stamp set and the pigment sprinkles. Wednesday's Facebook Live, we made this card, and this is using the Pressed Petals Designer Series paper, Floral Essence, and of course the Scripty Embossing folder. And now we are going to make this super fun card. Now, this is actually the second take because I made it 2/3 of the way through the video, only to find out that it missed a key part. So now you're getting to see it in 3 different colors. So this time I'm going to use yet another in color because this one was Seaside Spray. This is Purple Posy, although I used Highland Heather on there. Now we're going to use Rococo Rose. So I have an A2 size card base, top folding. So it is 4 1/4 by 11, and it is scored at 5.5 and 6.5. So when you have it on your scoring board or whatever tool you're using, scored at 5.5 and 6.5. We can set that aside. I have a piece of Rococo Rose that is 4 1/4 by 4.5. And then just a scrap of Whisper White that has to be at least 4 1/4 inches wide, and I would suggest about 3 inches long. So the first time I did this card, I used, I think it was Night of Navy, and I just kind of swiped it along the embossing folder. When I did this last card, I swiped it on the embossing folder, but it was far too difficult. The ink pad wouldn't drag, so I just kind of dabbed it all along the embossing folder and then used a sponge brayer to remove some of that ink. So this time we're going to use the sponge brayer to put it on. So we're going to be inking up the logo side, which is the flat side, and Rococo Rose ink, and we're just going to ink it up here. This is a good way to control the amount of ink that you get on here without having too much. And that's a big enough surface. I just want to make sure I'm not wiping it off of that area. Okay, so place it on the raised side. Now, I should have dried this a bit because I washed it after I used my Highland Heather. Oh, I almost did it the wrong way. I want it going this way, so I want the 4 1/4 by 4.5. Okay, now also if you've caught my product of the week videos before, you know that there's always an ordering special. So if you order the Scripty Embossing folder with me this week, you are going to get $5 off of the 3D embossing plate. So that is $13.50 Canadian. You will be paying $8.50 to get that. So we're going to put this on top. Now, this is what you need to use the new 3D style embossing folders. That or a few layers of cardstock. So I'm going to sweeten the deal by giving you that $5 off. And if you already have this embossing plate, but you would like the embossing folder still, then just choose something in the catalog that is around $8.50 and or $13.50, and I'll still give you the $5 off, or whatever. We can work something out. I am very close to reaching a sales goal that I have for myself, so every order, big and small, makes a difference. Okay, so this is very subtle, but it does bring out the letters more than they were initially. So now we're going to grab our card base, and we are going to adhere that onto there. And I'm just going to turn on this light because although it is early evening and the sun is pouring in here, there's not enough on the one side. Oh, and I should mention, I'm so sorry because usually my Friday videos are much earlier in the day, but I had a very bad day yesterday. Mental health wise, everyone is okay. Everything is going to be okay, but I just couldn't. So you're getting it much later in the day than you normally would, but you're getting a video nonetheless. So thank you for your patience and understanding. Mental health can be a problem for me, for many. So we're using Free as a Bird. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink to just stamp this on here. That should be good. Whoops, didn't do so well there, but I just used a block, so there's no lining it up again. I can go in and trace that part. I'll show you how to fix that. I don't have a sentiment on the inside, but you could certainly put whatever you'd like. We've got Rococo Rose blends. I'm going to use Mint Macaron for the leaves this time. The Crumb Cake Light and Dark. And for the flowers, I think we're going to do So Saffron. That should be good. And then I'm also going to grab my thinner journaling pen to fix this little bit up here. And I think I will start with that so it gives it some time to dry. Doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, we also need the dark petal pink to color in their little beaks. So let's start with our branch, which is starting in the middle of nowhere, I know. The trick to working with Stampin' Blends or any alcohol marker is to work well, you've got to work pretty quick because you want the dark ink or the light ink, depending on which you start with, and there's no right or wrong, but you want that ink to remain wet so that you can blend it. Now, if you want harsh edges, then there's less pressure, but if you want it to blend, either work in very small areas or work quickly. Or you can go over it again, but if you're trying to conserve your ink, work quick. I prefer to start with the dark version, but again, no right or wrong. Some prefer to start with the light. Now you can see I'm not staying in that markered area very long because I don't know if it's going to run. Go around the whole outside of your bird, and Stampin' Up! Makes it easy to know where to shade because they've given you the lines. And then before I do this, before I color it in, I want a little bit of a chest on each of these birds. It sounds funny, I know. You don't have to go over this again, but I do want my dark to stand out a little bit more. Okay, and then with any card that has a sky, I always just go around everything with my light pool party blend. And usually it would be the bullet tip, but I found that this gets it done much quicker. And I'm not looking for perfection here, so a rough outline will do. See how quick that was? I am going to go over this just with the light petal pink just to soften up the whole look. It also helps it look a little more like the Rococo Rose cardstock. Now, I'm not attaching that the way it is. I am using a tear ruler. Stampin' Up! Does not carry this, so no judgment, please. I used Whisper White cardstock for that. There we go. We're gonna glue that on. Given that this is my third time making this card, it's getting quicker and quicker every time. Okay, so now we are going to take our, I've used the linen thread each time, but I think I'm going to use just the, sorry, that was the braided linen trim. I'm going to use just linen thread this time. Give it a softer look. So what I like to do is wrap it around, get it in there, and then take this piece and wrap it around again before I cut anything off of the spool. Sorry, that was totally backwards. I don't think I've ever tied a more awkward bow or knot than that was. I lost my scissors. No, seriously, I lost my scissors. Where did I put them? Oh, they're over here. Now, because we've got the room, why don't we tie a bow on this one? See how it looks. Not quite that big. I'm a small loop bow tire. Okay, now for a little trick. I like to put tear and tape on the inside so that this stays closed. And you can put it on both sides of your ribbon if you'd like. When I was using the braided linen trim, I was definitely doing it on both sides. Let's put a little scooch there. It's just a way of ensuring this ribbon isn't going to move beyond that fold. Just press that down, and there's only one more little finishing step other than kind of pulling that apart so it stands out. We are going to use the Woven Threads sequins, and as you may or may not know, this set of sequins, or this suite, has all of the current in colors, so it's a great way to get your sequin fix in the right colors. Using your take your pick tool, we're going to choose a large one. and a medium one. And there we go. That is all. The only other thing I would suggest that maybe you could do is a little bit of Wink of Stella. Liven up those birds just a little. So let's do that on all three. Cards that I would like to give away or sell, I just put them in one of the acetate card boxes. So this was my Daisy Lane, sorry, let's get rid of that glare. This was my Daisy Lane class, so I had 2 sets of cards, so those will be a gift at some point, and I will put a belly band on it. And then these were the cards that we did at my bingo. I wanted to have a sample of each of the 5 stamps available in the Time for Tags stamp set. So there's this cute little bird, since we're doing birds today. Hello baby, hooray for you, welcome friend, and happiest birthday. So I'll throw some envelopes in and do another tag with a belly band for the front, and it makes a great gift. So that is all for our crafting time today. I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you will hit that big subscribe button below if you haven't already. The extra promotion is still going strong, so if you have ever thought of purchasing the starter kit and shopping at a discount or starting your own business, July and August are the perfect time because you get $40 in additional free product. So you're choosing $205 in product for $135. It's an amazing promotion. And then you also get a $14 coupon in August to spend. And the holiday catalog PDF goes live to demonstrators on Tuesday, July 22nd. So you can also add some of that to your next order, or you can wait until the 23rd and join then and be able to add some of those items to your starter kit. So if you have any questions, just email me, stampedaf@gmail.com. Check out my blog. There's joining links everywhere, and I actually just did a video not too long ago that answers a lot of the questions you might have about purchasing the starter kit. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, my crafty friends.